All right. You ready?
Yes, why? I'm going.
We have you. You're stuck. We wanted to start off today, and you may not like that I bring this up, but Mr. Wilson received a letter from our last chat with Charles, and it was very. I wanted to bring it up because, I don't know. We haven't really talked a lot about the impact that this time that we have together really makes on the company. And I wanted to share with everyone really, that you received this letter. And I won't go into all the detail, but someone wrote this letter to you in the company. And they were going through some challenges, some very difficult times. And the letter was really beautifully written. It was a long email. And in the email, they share the challenges that they're going through, that they have gone through, and that during that last chat with Charles, they listened to your message about every day is a gift and being thankful, and they wrote you this letter and said that that your words, your message really helped them. And I wanted to ask you, how does that make you feel to know the impact that you have on the company during this time?
That wasn't the question you were supposed to ask. The question really is, how can all of us be pleased with somebody writing that about the company? Not me, but about the company. That all of us, when we're considerate and trying to take care of our friends who work with us, make this a better company. And how do we do it? Because we have determined from the very beginning that this is a company where all of us want to help each other. It's a company where we come to work and feel that it's really a great place to be. And you know what? It makes working a lot better. We all have troubles, as I've constantly said. Every one of us have problems but you can't worry about that. You want to get out of those problems, come to work, enjoy yourself, and help other people. And every time you help somebody, you're going to feel better. And I'm just saying to you that all of you are doing it. One of the reasons we've grown is because all of us try to help this company grow. We're in this together. And that's the important thing that I have. That's my only message is, look, we don't want to go to work at a place that just is a mess or some place where you hate to go to every morning. You want to go to a place where you'll get kidded, you'll get all kinds of problems. Look who I have to sit with. You don't know what problems are, what I'm going through. You won't even ask the right question.
But you did say that you did say that through everyone's hard work that allows this time to be here, and that hard work really goes into the topic of today, which is the growth that the company is experiencing. By everyone working so hard together and working together, that we really are experiencing quite a bit of growth. And I wanted to ask you some questions around growth, which is, in your experience, and you've certainly worked with a lot of different companies and have seen a lot of companies grow. As companies grow, how do they go through those strains on a company? How do they continue to mentor people and make sure that everyone is being developed and taken care of as a company grows and resources are strained?
Well, the basics is just what I've said, is if you get everyone that is in the company realizing that in order to grow, we have to put a lot of effort into it. And all of us just enjoy that growth because we see what we're accomplishing. I mean, all of us who been to our programs, just think about how we were 2-3 years ago And look what you've all done for this company. And this is just the beginning. So that's the problem. But what was the other thing?
Yeah, well, as you worked with a lot of different companies, you would see them do different things to help them get through that growth, to continue to, when I started, one of the things you said that was very important to you was that when people joined, they felt like they were a part of something and that we would continue to stay connected. As companies grow and you want to continue to, train people, develop them, it's a strain. And you've certainly seen a lot of companies go through that.
Well, I think you have to plan for the future, and I think today is a great day for us because I have a great privilege today to tell you that today we're announcing that Travis Smith is our regional vice president, and he is going to take care of Portland, Boise, and Fresno. And I think that's one of the plans that we have for the growth of this company because he has done such a splendid job in his backup, and it's just a great pleasure for me to. Okay,
Thank you.
Tim?
I'm not here. You sit down. You are not off the hook.
Yeah.
How
Yes,
did the
sir.
seat show up here?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So how are you going to pull it off?
Well, that was, thank you, Mr. Wilson. That was wonderful. And Mr. Wilson, when I interviewed here, sat next to me, interviewed with him and Tim. And it was really impactful for me to meet Tim and Mr. Wilson for the first time. And that's why I'm here today. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
I don't know if you remember, but one of the things that I did to try to woo Travis over was I gave him a hat.
Yeah, yes, on the way to the airport.
Shows you the power.
And it's a great hat.
I think it just said, please come. So, Dad, I mean, you've been in business. You've seen a lot of business. You were in consulting. Talk about growth and the stresses on a company and how young leadership, because Travis and everyone here is way young, how does that impact a company?
Well, it's very difficult because we're moving at a very rapid pace. But if you think in terms of all of the things that have happened in the last few years, how business has changed, the only companies that are really going well are those people that are willing to put in their efforts to realize that they have to change and they have to plan and work in today's world, not yesterday's world. And I think that's what we have to stress. And we have to look at our people, and it's very important to take the people and use their knowledge to help us meet what's going on today. And I think a lot of companies miss out on their own people because they're the ones that really know this business. You're working at it every day, and you're the ones that can help us and all of us together do the things. And I found that in the companies that I've helped grow, that's what works. It's just the people and it's just their attitudes and what they do.
And when
We know you're going to do a job.
Thank you.
And when you were on the board of Triotech,
I am on the board. I'm
when
the
you are on
chairman.
the board of Triotech,
I'm the chairman. Other than that, I'm nothing.
we can edit this.
I like being on this side.
Humor me.
I am.
Thank you. Travis wants in here.
It's better around here.
When we, I'm like, can I get my allowance?
Next month.
When you took over the board of Triotech,
Yes.
it was almost in a transition. The company you were asked to come in. This is not the first time you've had to see it a company in distress, and you had to make some major changes. You brought Yang in, you did a lot of stuff, which was all about bringing in the next generation with ideas and everything else. Were you scared because they necessarily didn't have your view of life or your slice of what you thought the company was going? Or did you embrace the fact that these people coming in will challenge us and as such will make the company better?
I think the latter is the main thing. I mean, I was scared less. And you know, it's a tough, they were under huge debt. We had to renew, they owed the Bank of America huge amount of money, and it was a whole big problem. The management had just done a horrible job. And we brought other people in, got good advice from the outside, and we got our people that we had that were good, and they're the ones that pulled us out. It was our local managers in the company. They really did.
So you had to think differently.
Oh, you had to think completely differently. You know, times change.
Right.
And that was that time. Now, the way we worked it there doesn't mean it could work here, because it's 20 years later. And in 20 years, the world's changed. And all of us know that. And even the way you convey information to each other, it's a different world. And we know that in another 10 years, it's going to be an even more different world. And don't kid yourself, it will be.
And Travis, Travis has been with us for 6 years. He took over Portland, and Portland was literally in flames. I mean, it was, there's the picture that all of us remember was Travis had such a wonderful day. It was like everyone quit. The whole thing was going to pot. And you see Travis on the lawn just like this, right? You know, like, dump on me now.
That picture's going to haunt me forever.
But you did it. You did a turnaround. And share with us some of the experience that you bring from your past experience in coming into here. What have you noticed in your journey with us?
Yeah. What I've noticed with the journey here is that what a family company is. I worked for a big company before that, and I didn't get to experience this type of thing. So I think we're all grateful and lucky to be a part of that. And so that's what sticks out to me. I grew up, some people don't know, but my first job was 100% commission, door-to-door sales. I did that for 4 years. And so I appreciate the sales side of the business, and also all the people that it takes to run on the inside. So when you asked that question, my thought was to continue the legacy is what I was thinking. And what Mr. Wilson said was the opposite.
Right.
And so that's Ernest Packaging.
Well, I think what Mr. Wilson's saying is it is still a family-spirited company. However, the family understands that we have to accept new ideas, new thoughts.
Right.
And tell us a little more about, what you've seen as far as in your world up in Portland. What's going on there? What's the cut? Because Portland's very much cutting edge in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You have some very innovative companies up there.
A lot of innovative companies, a lot of creative companies. You've seen Portlandia. Some of you keep Portland weird. We get those people in our office talking to us every day, so it's fantastic. I could tell you stories about just last week. But the thinking that's going on at the same time, and the collaboration and different ways to think, we're forcing the senior design consultants to help us on projects that haven't been done before. We're engaging in our vendor support, our inside team, support team. So it's been a lot of fun in Portland to see that growth, and we've been lucky enough to grow with the business.
And also talk about one of the things that my father always stresses is self-improvement, and we'll talk a little about that with Vince. But I also know that you have done a tremendous amount of personal growth through I forgot the name of the
Fierce.
Mm-hmm. Give us a little background on that and how that's shaping you, because I think it's important that everyone knows and everyone in this company understands the fact that we are really trying to stress personal development as well as training. It's the only way to develop a great company.
Yeah, absolutely. So several years ago, I went to a workshop, Fierce Conversations, that was really impactful for me personally in both business and personal. And I went back to it a second time because I got that much out of it. And there was an event in Seattle, and I asked if I could go and to be a facilitator for Fierce Conversations. So I studied for the material for some time and went and then was able to be a facilitator at the event and get certified. And the thing that it brought to me was becoming just a better listener, a better leader, the key principles that we're talking about in our conversations about tackling tough challenges and enriching relationships at the same time is possible, and being authentic and listening to listen. It's all the basic principles that we talk about. It's just the practice and the development that happens. And I have a long way to go, but I do enjoy that self-development and self-improvement because I think we're all on a journey, and the journey doesn't end. You just get better on the journey. So I'm not going to a destination spot. I'm just trying to gain experiences along the way. That's kind of how I see it.
As you grow a division, Portland, right? That's one experience, growing a division.
Yeah.
But as a regional vice president, having responsibility over multiple locations, how has your experience prepared you to do the same thing but across multiple locations when now your time is a little bit stressed?
Yeah, and I think the efficiency of communication and how we're communicating and how direct we're being, and also how empathetic at times we're being, to understand, and that balance. And we have great people all over the company. So in Portland and Boise and in Fresno. So I'm really excited to continue that communication, because I think that's, for me, that's the key. And communicating to all our support team in LA too, which has always been super supportive and helpful with everything.
And what about you, Vince? I mean, you've got to be, you've helped catapult us through this transition. All kidding aside, with the great job of recruitment, we've, last year we hired 200 people, or we offered 200 jobs, or we hired 200. I don't even forgot what it was. Some staggering number. And then now, again, your role of transitioning from not only just hiring them, but trying to develop and grow them. What are you seeing in the world today?
It's the, as Mr. Wilson always says.
Okay, that's good enough.
What do you?
I'm just kidding.
It's the people that you have with you that really make a company. And I always think about that when you say that. It's the people that you have with you. And it really is thinking about everyone here and what we could do to continue to develop you, whether it's our leadership training or our management training programs. I myself am part of a few different networks that's all about self-development. So it's that commitment to continue and develop yourself, but then also thinking about others, because again, it's the people that you have with you that really make that difference.
And talk a little about this new group that you started. How's that going for you, the forum orientation, and just some of the takeaways?
Within Earnest?
No, with
external.
External.
Oh, so I'm part of a external group. It's an executive leadership network, and they're executives from all different types of companies that meet once a month. And the person that curated the group purposely finds people across multiple industries, so there isn't any one person from the same industry or the same discipline. So you really have this motley crew of people that come together once a month, and you talk about things that are relevant to your business, things that you're going through professionally, personally. And it's really nice. I think one of the biggest comments that come out of this group is that there isn't anyone there that wants something from you. They're not trying to sell you something. They're there really just to help develop you and share their years of experience together. And it's really interesting to sit down for the 5 hours that we do once a month and dedicate that time to really self-improvement, a lot of self-reflection. And the group also introduced a KPI metric, which you think of how you want your professional life to be, which coincides with personal, and you list these goals out, and then you strive toward them, and then monthly we come together and talk about the things that we're doing to reach those goals.
And it's always been interesting to me, because I've been part of YPO for such a long time, is that it doesn't really matter what industry you're in. Across all industries are same common themes of innovation, growth, relaxing, getting off your game or coasting and stuff like that. Are you finding that also in your group, the same themes are prevalent no matter what?
Yes, and it's really interesting. We were at Verizon's offices last week, or the last meeting, and it's the same exact thing. You have a company like Verizon, which is gigantic, and at the core, you still see the same things, and you see them in their leadership and the way they approach. And taking a tour of Verizon could be somewhat intimidating, like, oh my gosh, this is huge. But when you sit down in the forum and you listen and you're contributing to this person, you're exactly right. All the things remain true. Regardless of company, they're all going through the same things.
And Dad, you've been a proponent of self-education for a long time. I mean, obviously, my sister continues to be educated beyond belief, and stuff like that. But what's amazing, most people don't know, is that my father still continues to do self-training because he has to keep his bar degree current. So was it every 2 years you have to study? Every 3 years you have to study. So he's got a current bar number. What's your number?
Oh, it's.
What's your number?
I don't remember. It's in my wallet.
The reason why it's most amazing is
I've got my number from when I was in the Army, 3958 1586.
Those are dog tags.
That was my number.
Well, okay, well, we can call you that, or we can call you 39 for short.
Okay. See, I do have a good son.
No, the reason why I bring it up is because even though my father, it's like 2,900 or?
Well, it's I'm one of the oldest lawyers in California.
Active.
Today, active.
And what's your number?
It's here somewhere.
You'll get it. Anyway, what I want to point out is my father's been practicing law for close to 70 years.
Well, since 1950, I graduated law school in 1950, and my number is 22144. Now everybody else is now about 400078.
So he was the 22,000th attorney that got his number in the state of California. That's how it works.
Since the beginning, yeah.
Since the beginning. So they rank it. So if you get one today, you're going to be in the hundreds of thousands. My father was 22,000, and that was really pretty amazing. But again, the point of the whole thing is about continuing to put yourself. I was having dinner with Scott Gardner. Brian and I were sharing dinner with Scott Gardner, and one of the things that we talked about is always the fact of learning and what's going on and staying relevant. Because if you're not staying relevant, if you're not looking what's going on in the world, you're going to fail.
Well, I'd like to also say that one of the things that you've got to try to do is get your top managers working together and respecting each other and really helping each other. And that's very important.
So we can't make fun of Travis?
No, not Travis, but...
Okay.
We got off class.
And I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that Mike and Brian and Carrie and how they work together. It's just, I come in here and watch them, and they yell at each other, but it just...
In a loving way. Where's Marisol?
And seriously, can you imagine? They're all here to listen to me. And I appreciate it. But the fact is, a business grows when everybody's involved, particularly everybody wants to make it go. And it's just a thrill for me to come here every day just to see the people. They kid me, they sing to me. It's just marvelous because we all want to do better for all of us. And that's what my whole object in this is. And I think that what you're saying is true. I wasn't just saying that you don't do what you talked about, because, I was chairman of the Institute for Advanced Planning, right, too, in which we did teaching and consulting with Dr. Gunther Klaus and I did that for about 10 years too. So, right. So I do know about this, but it's you constantly have to be on top of things. What was yesterday is yesterday.
Well, also the speed, right, Dad? I mean, correspondence and everything else is all, it's
It's
the
a
speed of
different
light.
world,
It's a total different world. It's the speed of light, the way we communicate, everything we talk about today. My father was doing some videos yesterday. Videos didn't even exist 10, 15 years ago. Now, everything is literally video. It's just fascinating how everything is going.
Yeah.
So, Travis, what's your biggest excitement? Other than being today, obviously.
Well, he did get married,
Yeah, and his family. Putting those aside, those are big excitements. What's your biggest excitement? What are you really looking forward to?
Yeah, I think what I'm most excited about is connecting with the people at all the divisions and helping them grow. And like Mr. Wilson said, growing the whole thing. As we grow as individuals, the whole thing grows. To me, that's fulfillment. And I think we're in a lucky spot with Ernest Packaging and what the company's doing and tapping into that. So what I'm most excited about, connecting with the people, getting to know them, helping them reach their potential, and then growing the business as a whole.
And what's your big, hairy goal? It's a Harvard word, but I guess I can't say it.
Well, the Portland and Boise teams are used to big goals, and I have a stump speech that I shared at the beginning of the year, and it's been consistent the last several years, which is to make Ernest Packaging in Portland and Boise and now Fresno the best packaging house in the region and the place where people want to come and work. So I want to tap into all the resources to let Ernest Packaging be in all the markets as the destination spot for people because of the kind of company we are.
And what would be your personal, because you, I'm sure, do that too. You be a great family person, a great father, a great mentor. Mm-hmm. What's your?
Yeah, my key word is growth. And what that means to me is that I'm always developing and always learning from other people. So I want to keep that going as well and listen. I know that's not something crazy, but I do want to be a better listener. And some of the people in the room have maybe seen me listen good at times and listen bad at times. So there's always area for improvement. But I want to grow as a person and develop in this new role.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I'll just tell you one last thing, which is interesting because we talked all about today about listening and studying and observation. One of the great things about Ernest that I really think, and it goes throughout the entire company, is the fact that all of us are observers. We see things every day. And our curiosity gets a hold of us as to whether we turn that observation into a aha moment, a challenge moment, or a just sweep it under the carpet moment. And what makes Ernest so special to me when I talk to the young talent is the fact that they're curious. They look at something and they don't have blinders of opportunities. And so I challenge all of us to be observers that have action. Because you're going to see a lot of things and you're going to see a lot of things. And the most important thing is to speak up. In today's world, we want people to have different opinions. We want diversification. We want to be challenged because it's the only way that makes us better, makes us more nimble. The only way you can be nimble is if you keep your eyes open. Mm-hmm. So with that, I just really appreciate it. Congratulations and welcome to the family at a higher level. And get to work because I'm going on vacation now. You guys.
Thank you very much, everybody. And we do appreciate you sitting here. Now you can actually go to work.